Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to
20 rules the Brits never break.
Hi everyone, it's me. My name is Alana and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in the UK. Welcome, have a seat, get cozy, maybe have a hot drink.
She's Canadian. Okay. I feel like
Still have
we
my
reacted to her before
I don't remember
and
her.
we were saying where she's from and we couldn't pinpoint it.
Mm,
Hmm.
I don't know if it was her.
I think so.
coffee.
Okay.
Let's see if I can finish it before it gets cold. I have created a list, this list, in fact, of 20 rules that I think are integral to British life. Rules that the Brits do not break. So that is what we're talking about today. Leave a comment down below. What do you think of my list? But you can only be nice. Don't only say
I think we were thinking she's American, but like some of the stuff she was saying, because I think it was like 15 weird things Brits do.
Oh.
And some of the stuff she said, we were like, well, this is what Americans do too. Why is that weird to you? Now that explains if she's Canadian, maybe. Because I remember one of them
Oh.
was calling people sweetie and
Oh.
like honey.
Oh, and we thought, oh, maybe she's up north.
Yeah, that's what we were
Mm.
saying. So she's
But she's
Canadian.
north.
Yes, she's she's North. Okay.
nice things. Don't say mean things. Number one, always say sorry even if it's not your fault. So even if you bump
Yeah.
into
Yeah, we
a
heard that.
lamppost, you bump into a door frame, you accidentally step on something that's not a human or an animal, you just say sorry. Number two, cue properly. So queuing improperly or cutting a queue is just absolutely diabolical. You probably won't get yelled at because British people largely don't like to yell at people, don't want to cause a fuss, but you will be tutted at, which might even be worse. Number three, never make eye contact on public transport. So for me, I
Oh.
sold my car 5 years ago. That can't be right. I sold my car a long time ago, and I rely on public transport to get everywhere and anywhere. I kind of love that British people don't really make eye contact.
The most annoying part about public transport would probably be getting groceries. Traveling to like from point A to point B is whatever, but getting groceries, carrying all those bags, walking with the
Yeah.
bags, that would be the most annoying part.
They
Yeah.
don't. Again, they don't want to cause.
But then
fuss,
again,
right?
I think the annoying part is like if you had like something like heavy to carry, like I think the heaviest thing is like water. But I think in like Europe they drink from the faucet.
Well, I mean, vegetables too, like potatoes weigh, onions weigh,
Mm,
apples weigh. So if you add,
mm,
I guess you go shopping more often then, because
I
so you
would
don't
think
have to carry
so.
that. Go every
Mm-hmm.
2 days, I guess.
You don't want to be a bother. Don't make eye contact. However, if you are, perhaps on the bus and somebody is staring at you and you just know that something is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, something is going to transpire on this bus. As part of this rule, I would also say never sit beside someone on public transport unless there's no other option. Another rule that I love, so when you're on a train or on the bus, everybody's like taking one seat in the clusters, like there's seats of two. Everybody's taking one and one and one and one until it can't, there's no more empty seats left. So you start taking a seat beside someone. Only then is that appropriate. Because there is few things worse than being on the train and the carriage is almost empty and you're in a window seat. And where does that person decide to sit? Beside you. So buckle up. Something's about to happen. Moving right along. What
Yeah, I think that I would hope these are not just Brit rules, but
Yeah.
common sense. This one particularly. Don't stare at people in public. I feel like that. I would hope that's common sense, and
Mm.
don't sit next to people when there's empty spots. Also, but at the same time, I do see like some Americans. There's like very outgoing ones that love to talk. They would sit right next to just to. They
Have
need to
someone to
talk.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do see that happening more in the States than like in Europe, for
Mm.
example. Yeah.
are we up to? Number four. Don't talk to strangers unless it's about the weather. British people don't really like opening up immediately. It takes them a long time to get that personal. Every time I go back to Canada, I'm always kind of shocked how Canadians, you'll be in a queue for something and the person next to you just starts telling you about their like personal life, and it's always kind of shocking, like, oh, like I don't even know you and you're being so upfront and open. I'm shocked. Here I find in the UK, and of course this is a thing I already know you guys have commented down below. I live in Kent. I think Kentish people are quite reserved. I think they're not snooty and they're not like hoity-toity, posh. I'm not going to talk to you. I think largely it's just they're so polite that they don't want to bother you. They don't want to look at you and make you feel uncomfortable. They don't want to sit next to you in public transport. They don't want to talk to you about anything too
Mm.
personal before they know you. I think all of this is done because they're very polite. They're very reserved, not like in a mean or negative posh kind of way. But I know the Northerners, you guys love to make yourself known in the comments, and I'm sure you've already done it. I'm sure there's already a comment that says, Northerners don't do this. Northerners talk to everybody and blah, blah, blah. And that's great. I love that for you. I live in Kent. So this is my list. Welcome.
Also, to be fair, I guess in her defense, it's all relative. So like
That's true.
how you guys
That's
in
because she
the
clarifies.
north think that it might be a lot talking. If you go to Canada, maybe they're like way, way more talking. So that's everything is relative. So if she's saying that from a Canadian perspective, it could be that it's really not that bad as she's describing. Just to her, it seems like compared to Canada, it's like day and night, you know. But like to you, it might be regular.
To my YouTube channel. Every time I post a video, I always get comments from Northerners saying how the North is so much better. Okay, I've enjoyed all of my trips up north. I've been up north. Been
wonder
to
where
Scotland
Kent
and
is.
Wales. Had an absolutely lovely time. Beautiful places. Anyway, literally
Sounds
not
like
the point
the
of this video.
South.
Number 5, tea solves everything. You just got dumped by a long-term partner. Have a cuppa. Perhaps you've just been made redundant at your job you've been with for 30 years. Have a cuppa. Maybe you went to the shops and it rained on you on the way home and you're a bit miserable. Just have a cuppa. Tea solves everything. I have only recently got into, this is coffee. I always have a coffee in the morning. And I've only really recently got into tea. It's something that's really exciting because I feel like there's so much out there that I haven't had. I love doing taste tests. If you've seen any of my videos, I love a taste test. And tea is one of those things that I still feel is very unexplored for me, which is exciting. Personally, I'll take a Yorkshire, maybe a little bit of milk.
We
but
don't
not
have
too
here in the
much.
States like a tea shop. Well, we do,
You
but
do.
they're not like as popular compared to the coffee shops, I would say.
Yeah. Well, we do have a lot of teas at Walmart. Though. A lot of flavors of teas. If you
But like a store, so like the only one I can think of is Tivana. You heard of this one? Tivana, they had
Yes.
like specialty teas. Because for me to be into like tea, it would have to be like a specialty tea.
Well, but the thing is though, it doesn't have, like what you describe as overpriced. It can be like a simple like at Walmart. There's a huge selection of teas. You can try different samples to find what you like. And yeah, I mean, there is definitely the right like I think when they talk the Brits talk tea, they just really mean the black Dilma with milk. I think that's the tea they're talking about. They don't talk about the tea that you're thinking of. What you think is like, the fruity, the green tea, that type of tea. So I think for them is about that particular tea, which is great by the way. I grew up drinking it. I love it, but uh yeah, you can also get that tea too. It's just a black tea. You put milk in it, but I think for them is that specific idea of tea.
Just a little something.
I think the big because Dilma is like the classic tea brand. So like the regular Dilma is cool, but at one point they introduced Dilma strawberry flavor. So you do strawberry but with milk too. Oof, it was so good.
They don't make it
Strawberry
anymore?
milk. I'm sure they do.
Oh.
And I'm laughing. I'm having a great time. Only in the winter though, or on a rainy day. I don't drink tea when it's nice out. I don't drink tea in the summertime. It has to be a bad, rainy, gross winter day. It's a very specific rule, I know. But that rule is only for me. British people don't follow that rule. While we're talking about coffee, while we're talking about caffeine, a little update. I have still been doing my Magic Mind challenge. Magic Mind is a mental performance shot. They're the sponsor of today's video. I've been having mine every morning, so it helps you be more like I personally. This is a shot straight from the every day for a month. YouTube channel in the afternoon. I've been sleeping. Mine offers a 100-day money back subscription. You can use 20 is 48% off your first subscription for the month. I feel good. I've done. What are we on? Number 6. This hand, number 6. The correct response to all right is all right. No actual information should be exchanged. This one is still very weird to me because when someone says to me like, "Are you all right?" in Canada, that means like someone is asking about your well-being, and you should respond in a way that makes sense. But here it's very much like a throwaway. It's like it's kind of like in North America you would say like, "Hey, what's up?" It's just casual, just like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're not going to be like, "Oh, well, Judy left me and our
I
dog
think
is
I
ill.
make
We don't
this
have-"
mistake because I think when someone asks me what's up, I say what's up.
Yeah, I say what's up, what's up, what's up. I say what's up, what's going on. So I'm like, yeah, just like it's kind of like hello to me. Yeah, but I have seen people. Yeah, you say what's up, they start sharing their life story a little bit. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh no.
Insurance, and I think I'm going to be let go from my job. No. Too much information. When you say what's up in North America, it's usually like very casual, just kind of like a throwaway line. That is the same thing I find here with you all right or just all right. they're not really asking, for an in-depth explanation.
I think it goes back to not really like talking to strangers like that. So that's why you don't share your life story with strangers, because you just don't talk to strangers, period. So if somebody just like being polite, you're all right because you kind of look or whatever, that you just, yeah, because you don't want to share it with them. It's none of their business.
How you're doing. You just say all right and move on. Number 7, never take the last biscuit. You're in some sort of social setting. Maybe there's a little party, a little get together at somebody's house, and there's a last biscuit, and you are offered that last biscuit. You need to say no. But if you're offered again and nobody else seems to really want it, then you may take the last biscuit. But you kind of have to do this little dance.
That's an interesting one. I don't know how it is in Lithuania. I don't remember.
Well, you did the same thing too.
I want to say it's like you don't really take the last one, but then I'm thinking somebody has to take the last one.
Yeah.
Might as well be you, right? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, you're nice.
I do offer it before I take it. I do offer it though. So
It's funny when you're in a relationship, you have to, please, please, no, please, please, please.
because I know you want it. You just trying to be polite.
Uh,
I see you eat. I know you want it.
Like, oh, does anybody else? Like, oh, I shouldn't, does anyone else want it? And then you may take it. Next up, number 8, never complain in a restaurant. You can complain to the people you're eating with.
That's interesting.
That's fine, but don't complain to anyone who could actually improve the situation. No, just
Why?
suffer. Number 9, roast dinners are
Why? That's so interesting. I mean, I get not being a Karen, but if something is bad, like if you if you find like a fly or a bug in your food, why not just say, oh yeah, I don't want it. It's bad. Or like a hair or something. I don't
it's
see
risky to send back your food.
Well, not
gonna come
okay.
and
Then
spit.
leave. Don't pay for it. Then leave. I don't know why I don't. I obviously don't complain about, oh, the water is too hot or too cold. Like that's just stupid shit to complain about. But if there's something really like problematic, like you found something in your food, I don't see why that's not something to complain about.
are a sacred
One
tradition.
time, the soda tastes funny to me, but I didn't say anything because I thought that was just the way
yeah.
it was.
Yeah, I remember. And oh right, oh, great example. Yeah, or if like you order Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke and they bring you regular. I mean, that's not what I ordered.
Yeah.
But I will say I think that's more of an American thing, because I think back in Lithuania I would also kind of would just suck it up. Maybe because I got older and I started giving less fucks, or maybe it's an American thing and I just speak up more. I don't know. But yeah, back there I probably kind of like, yeah, you just suck it up. But here, nah. That's not what I order.
Because to me, I haven't had soda in a long time, so I thought that's the taste of soda. So I was confused. I said, okay.
Yeah.
And they must include Yorkshire puddings. If you do not have a Yorkshire tradition and they must, no, just suffer. Number 9, roast dinners are a sacred tradition and they must include Yorkshire puddings. If you do not have a Yorkshire pudding, you cannot call that a Sunday roast. That may just be my opinion, but I think it's the right one, don't you think? Number 10, beans on toast is a legitimate meal. I actually love, I don't want to start a whole thing, but I'm going to start a whole thing. Beans on toast is great. However, and I know this is not a British rule and it always makes people upset, I don't like soggy bread. I don't like soggy as a texture.
I thought beans on toast would be on toast, like crunchy bread. Not soft
Well,
bread.
yeah, but
Because then it's not toast.
the sauce would sog it up though.
When she says soggy bread, I think the bread that's not toasted.
But even if the bread is toasted, if you put on liquid on it, it will sog it up. So it can be toasted but still sog up, I guess.
I don't know.
It's like like a cookie's hard.
Yeah.
You dip cookie in the coffee or tea, it becomes
Then
soft.
you have to eat it quickly.
It's soggy.
Yeah, you have to eat
the
quickly.
same with this. If you toast the bread, is hard. You pour the sauce on it, it sogs up. So it would be similar principle.
Where are you going with this?
No, what I'm saying, I guess it can still be toasted and soggy. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The greatest. So when I have beans on toast, and my British partner is the same, so if you want to take it up with someone, take it up with him. It's his fault. We will do toast with some nice butter and beans on the side. And then as you are eating the toast, you're scooping the beans and eating it as you go. That way
Makes
the
sense.
toast is still very toast and it's not soggy. So we have beans adjacent to toast. I know it drives people crazy. I don't know what to tell you. It's just such a pleasant
I don't
eating
know.
experience.
Never
But I
tried
have
it.
beans beside toast like somewhat frequently, especially on a really busy day. It's like I need to eat something, but I just don't have time. Toast some bread, heat up some beans on the hob. A little bit, we put a little bit like a chipotle chili or something in it. Nice. Takes 5 seconds. You can wolf it down in less time, and then I can get back to what I was doing. I know that's a really hot topic issue, but I've just said it now, and we're moving on.
Oh,
Number
wow.
11. You have to either love Marmite or hate it. You cannot be in between. I've never met a British person who
Yeah,
had
that's what we've
an
seen in
opinion
all the
on
Yeah.
Marmite
reactions.
that
Yeah,
was
We
anything
think you
other
would
than
like it.
that's what you say. Yeah.
love it or hate
I
it, right?
don't
I know
think
that's
I
like the
would like
slogan,
it.
love it or hate it. I've never met someone who's like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. It's fine, but I don't, no, you
Wait
can't
till
do
they
that.
meet
Personally,
you.
I hate
You'll say
it,
that
which is
something
kind of
like that.
surprising because I
That
love
sound like
savory
me.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I've tried it in a variety of different ways over the years. I've tried it in different applications. I hate it. Number 12, tea needs to be brewed correctly. Now, I know there's a lot of people that joke about making tea in the microwave. And I gotta be honest, I feel like that is a thing that was created on the internet to rage bait British people. I don't know any single person who does that. However, it goes without saying,
Oh,
if
I
you
know
were
people
that
do that.
person, you better not do it here. And a lot of people believe that the milk, to
Warm
make a
up the
proper
water.
cuppa, the milk actually needs to go in.
Microwave it,
I don't
and then
know.
take it out, and then put your tea.
I always grew up boiling everything. Here, like when you made oats, for example, on the recipe, not the recipe,
do
but on the
boil.
back it says, "Oh, you can make it in microwave. Just put it in the microwave." That was interesting when I first came. I'm like, put it in microwave. It is convenient. Can't say nothing. It is convenient. But if I was to make a tea or coffee, I do boil it. And I do not put it in the microwave. So, but like for oatmeal, for example, the microwave method, it's convenient. You don't have to mess with the pots and whatever, Just what it is.
First, and you need to have a certain type of china, and you need to like brew the tea a certain amount. You need to have a certain amount of milk or no milk. Like everybody's very particular, but either way, tea needs to actually be brewed properly.
Watching these British videos, I kind of want to start drinking tea again.
Oh yeah, you used to drink tea a lot.
And,
You
yeah,
stopped drinking tea.
I remember
You
this.
switched to coffee, and then you switched to energy drink, and then coffee.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I remember this tea she's talking
Then
about.
electrolyte tea, water.
It's good.
And if you put it in the microwave, the home office is going to show up at your house and they're going to deport you. All right? So you've been warned. Number 13, if someone says we should meet up soon, it means they never want to see you again. They're just being polite.
Really?
I think
Wow.
for non-English speaking people, this is going to be so weird. There's a lot of double meanings when it comes
Because
to
that's the
English
Brazilian
language.
version.
And
Like when we seen like in Germany, for example, when they say we should meet up, like that means like okay, they intend to. Like in the European countries, that's like okay, we intend. In Brazil, we saw that like oh yeah, never.
English speaking, way of speaking, the passive aggression. There's a lot of times when British people will say one thing and they very much
It does seem there's a lot of passive aggressiveness in British culture because they seem to be non-confrontational people.
Yeah.
They don't like confrontation, but there's definitely a lot of passive aggressiveness I'm getting.
But the comments very powerful. Like
What do you mean comments?
people, the British when they leave comments about criticisms.
Well, right, but that's the keyboard warrior. You
Yeah.
don't have to put your face next to
Yeah.
what you're saying. So that's your way you can express your aggression through the passive means by typing it. But like to say somebody to somebody's face. And obviously not everybody's like that, but based
Yeah.
on these reactions as a culture, that's what I'm kind of getting how they are.
something else. And I think that is really difficult to wrap your head around if English is not your first language. Even for me, like Canada technically speaks English as well. Slightly different, but English. And it took me a while to figure out the nuances of some of the phrases of what do British people actually mean? Because I think Canadians are very upfront. Canadians are kind of like Americans. They say what they mean what they say. British people like to do this little song and dance where they kind of say something, but they're kind of meaning something else. So if that's new to you, good luck. Another rule that British people never break is do not talk about money. Now, I think the connotation of this is that
You saw this in the terms of office setting. Like I think they don't share what they make.
Americans and maybe to a lesser extent Canadians are very boastful.
I wonder how
and,
does
like,
that work
boast
in the
about money, and
dynamics
that's
when you feel like someone is getting underpaid and someone is overpaid and there's like gaps, wage gaps.
You sit there miserable because passive aggressiveness. You can't be aggressive, so you just sit there and take it.
like really poor taste. And yeah, sure, that can happen, but I think in a more practical sense, this can be a negative to British people. In Canada, it is, I would say, much more common to know roughly salaries of your fellow employees, right? Because it's less of a tableau to talk about. So you can figure out like, hey, so and so is the same job, they're making 10,000 more than me. Why is that? I feel like here in the UK, it's so taboo. You do not speak about this stuff. You then kind of suffer some of those consequences because you don't really understand the salaries and things going on around you. Does that make sense? So I think the gut reaction
Yeah,
is
you can be discriminated against or not liked by the bosses and just take it. Yeah.
like,
Tough.
oh, Americans, all they do is boast about how much money they make. But actually, I think in practical sense, it's super helpful. But either way, don't talk about money. Sorry, you can't do it here. Number 15, don't be too enthusiastic. Too enthusiastic, too high energy. Ugh. Don't do it. Keep it low key, keep it self-deprecating, okay? If you're too excitable, if you're too energetic, too enthusiastic, gross. Number 16.
I think that's a Lithuania like that too. Because even now, living here, certain people, when they're too out there, it really turns me off.
Passive aggression is key. Kind of mentioned this earlier. This sort of song and dance. A lot of British people don't really want to make a fuss, but obviously they get angry, they get annoyed. But rather than like being direct about it and communicating about it, perhaps in a very direct sense, they like to do the little passive aggressive dance. So if you're telling a story and someone goes, "Wow, okay, that's interesting," it ain't. It's not interesting, I'll tell you that much. Nobody can do passive aggression like the Brits. Number 17, leaving without saying goodbye is considered an Irish goodbye, and that is a no-no. A proper British goodbye takes about 20 minutes. Again, it's a song and dance. It's this back and forth. It's like, well, right, we
I
best
think
be
we
off,
saw this
and
at the party. You
Yeah.
can't leave everybody. You have to say bye to everybody. It's a whole thing.
start saying your goodbyes, and then you're kind of like slowly walking to the door, and you're
That's
still
a lot
saying
of
your goodbyes,
countries
and then you're
like
standing
that.
at the door, and you're talking again, and then you're saying your goodbyes, and it's this big, long song and dance, really. Personally,
What was tough is
I-
like if you get up from the couch, then there's like a whole conversation by the doorway,
Yes.
and then by the car window.
No.
By the car window, you're talking, and
And
okay.
Lithuania is the same way now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get up, yeah, you go say bye to some people, you have a little chat. To other people, have a little chat. And by the car, somebody walks you out.
Yeah, and they
Uh,
talk to you. Yeah, you in the car buckled up,
Yeah, and they
in your
still
window,
talk.
and they're in their
Yeah,
window talking to you.
yeah,
I would
you're
never do that
right.
to
You're
somebody.
right. You're right.
Please.
Yeah.
I
You leaving? I'm celebrating. Thank you.
love an Irish goodbye. And I will do it at
Adios,
any possible
amigo.
moment, okay, so if you invite me somewhere, you just need to understand that at
That's
some
funny.
point you're gonna notice that I am no longer there. I love an Irish goodbye. I think the Irish were right, okay? I think we need to do this more often. Just disappear into the night. Number 18, a cup of tea should be offered to anyone who enters your home, even if they're only staying for a few minutes, even if you don't
I don't know. The Irish goodbye just dipping. It's a crude though. I wouldn't do that, but I don't know. You just say, okay, I gotta go. Bye. I don't know. Just remember in one of the videos they said, do this,
Yeah.
the thigh slap, and it's like, oh, time to go. I would do the thigh slap.
even drink tea, you should still have tea on offer. So, someone comes over, like an electrician, that was hard to say, an electrician, a plumber, tradesperson comes over for something, you offer a cup of tea. Landlord, family members, friends, neighbor, you should be offering a cup of tea, even if you don't drink it. Number 19, a barbecue is successful no matter the weather. I don't think I've been to a barbecue where it hasn't rained in
You know what's
some
interesting?
capacity.
I thought calling it a barbecue is an American thing than it being like a other countries type of thing.
Well, we don't do barbecue, we call shashlikas. So, but it's the same thing essentially. It's a barbecue. We just.
Because I think of barbecue sauce.
I wonder if the Brits call it barbecue or what they call it. She
Yeah.
obviously calls it barbecue because that's Canadian American thing. I don't cookout.
A
Just
cookout.
cookout. I don't know.
But if there is beer and if there is meat, the weather is irrelevant. And if you wait for the weather to be perfect to have a barbecue, it's never going to happen. And number 20, you must stand on the right of escalators and walk
Oh,
on the
yes,
left.
absolutely.
I realize this is largely in London, but I think it should be implemented literally everywhere. It's the best system you could ask for. Blocking
Yes.
an escalator, like having two people standing side by side on an escalator, is a serious crime and you will be arrested. Mainly by me, but I just hate
Also,
it.
the
Don't do it.
debate is
Those are
if
my
you walk
20
up
rules.
the escalator or do you just stand and let the escalator take you up.
There's no debate. If you're in a rush, you walk. If you're chilling, you stand. Who's debating that?
When you go to like the airport, the one that's
Oh, you talk about
the flat one.
the flat one. Oh, well,
Mhm.
I think similar principle. If you're in a rush, you're walking. If you're just lazy, you're standing.
Mm,
I think they're made so you can walk fast if you, because especially in the big airports for the connecting flights, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
I think
Whoever created that was a genius.
yes, that was a good invention. The
Yeah.
airport, yeah.
Okay, guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, 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 share as much kindness as possible.